global challenges, food insecurity, climate change, and trade-related concerns, the Philippines stands as a leader among Asia's emerging economies. At the forefront of this progress is a visionary and a dedicated leader, committed to finding innovative solutions, fostering economic development, and supporting local businesses in the Philippines. To give us more updates into the initiatives of the department, we have with us tonight in person the Secretary of Trade and Industry, Maria Cristina Aldeguer-Roque. Good evening and welcome to our program, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, Angelique, and thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, how many months has it been since you were appointed by the President?
Actually, it's been 7 months as having been appointed. I started in August.
And how have you settled into your job?
Actually, a few months before I got in as secretary, I was already an undersecretary for MSME Development Group for around 4 months. So I kind of know what was really happening inside the Department of Trade and Industry. So the adjustment was quite easy for me.
Okay. So we'll talk more about how you transitioned from the private sector into government work later on, okay?
Yes.
But for now, I want to know, ito, bilang kalihim ng kagawaran, ano po ang inyong experience so far sa pamumuno ng DTI?
Okay, for DTI, there's a lot of professional and really good leaders inside the agency, and all we needed to do is really to get the programs out there. So for this year, ang main focus ng DTI, aside from of course making new and developing more innovative programs, is to really get the programs out there to the people who really need to know that these programs exist, and it also to get it out there to let the people know that they can avail of these programs, especially those na yung mga negosyantes, whether they're large or extra large scale, all the way down to the MSME, which is the micro, small, and medium enterprises, which comprises 99.5% of the business establishment as well as 60% of the workforce. So this is a sector that we cannot ignore.
Ano po kaya ang pangarap ninyo para sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas? Kasi we are an emerging economy, hindi po ba?
Yes.
And the President has always talked about that. In his many speeches, sabi niya, gusto niya, at this point, gusto niya na maging parang na tayo, umangat na yung ating estado, ang ating ekonomiya.
Yes, actually, wherever I go, because I travel abroad, the way they treat us and the way they respond to the Philippines is really actually very inspiring and something that we can really be proud of. We're really an emerging giant in Asia, and we are really the country that they are looking at now. Even other companies have been to the office and also has spoken to the President and has told that among our neighbors, we are really, if not the top, at least 1, 2, 3. So that's something that we're really pushing for, and we're really getting a lot of investments also. The three focuses of the DTI, which is one, the international trade and foreign investment, which is something that we're really pushing. Create More was signed last October last year, and the IRR was signed yesterday, and so now we can really push this Create More, and this is the incentive that a lot of the countries are waiting for. The foreign investors are waiting for. And number two is the consumer protection, which we need to protect our consumers from the products that are being sold in the market. The DTI has a department that checks the standards, and we also make sure that the products that are sold are, should I say, safe and should be sold in the market, but at the same time protecting also the local industries. And number three is the MSME development. So that's something that we need to grow aggressively also, whether in the local market or internationally. Because as I said a while ago, 99.5% of the businesses in this country is belongs to that sector.
So, kailangan talagang suportahan.
Yes,
no?
kailangan suportahan sila.
How? In what way are we able to support the SMS?
MSME. Okay. Locally, locally, there's really a push. We really, like for me, I really talk to the big players, and I ask them how they can help the MSMEs. That's one. Number two, financing. We also now, SB Corp, which is a government bank, is under the DTI, the supervision of DTI. So we have a lot of financing also for them, and so many other programs. In fact, starting next month, we will do now road shows, a caravan from all the way north, all the way to Mindanao, to really bring to the people now what are the programs of the DTI, especially for the micro, small, and medium enterprises.
Gusto ko i-pursue yung tungkol sa financing.
Yes, yeah.
Ano? Kasi marami talagang maliliit na negosyante na marami ideas, masipag, pero wala silang access sa financing. Kasi kapag sila yung pumunta sa isang financial institution, at sa bangko, ang madalas nilang reklamo, ang daming hinihingi.
Yes, correct.
Hinihingi itong papel na to, may ganito, may ganyan.
Yes,
and they cannot produce these papers.
Yes, correct. Actually, SB Corporation, DTI SB Corporation, which is under DTI, has now financing for them. We have actually 10 billion to be loaned out for the micro, small, and medium enterprises. What we did now was to make it more specific. Rather than just one big loan that they can loan out, we have broken them down to the different industries or to the different sectors, so that they know, ay, pwede pala ako dito, because that's always the question. Can I loan here? Pwede ba? Am I eligible to loan here? So like we have Enterprise Rehabilitation Fund, which we just launched last year, nung sunod-sunod yung bagyo. Kasi in every calamity, di ba, parang we always say na, may ayuda sila, but we forget that the businesses get affected during this calamity. So if the business cannot be revived, then it's very hard for them to be able to bounce back. So now we have the Enterprise Rehabilitation Fund. All these loans pala, 1 year sila, no principal and no interest payment. So we give them a chance to be able to really recover and start to pay off the loans. And on the second year, they can choose to pay principal and interest or just interest. Pwede din yun. So these loans can go from 3 years to 5 years, and the loanable amount can be from as low as 5,000 all the way to 10, 30 million, depending on the category that they belong to. And ang maganda dito, for the smaller loans, there's no interest needed. So the MSMEs, we also have to understand, walang mga collateral pala, not interest, mga collateral. Yeah, oo.
Wala silang i-produce na property.
Yes, wala.
Ganito,
because we have to understand, walang mga properties ang mga to. Yes, oo.
So, yun lang, kamusta yung compliance? Kasi kunyari, si Aling Inday, may karinderya. Gusto niyang paramihin ang kanyang kliyente at paramihin yung kanyang mga
Yes, kailangan niya ng inventory. They need money for inventory. So, ang pwede niyang gawin, all they need is just government ID or business name registration, but they have to be compliant. And they need to have at least the business permits that's needed so that they can really operate as a small business para pwede siyang lumago. Kasi yun lang ang requirement ng DTI, kailangan siya maging compliant sa business name registration and yung may LGU permit. Yes. Magparehistro. Yes, correct.
So may mga pa-seminar po kayo para naintindihan ng mga maliliit nating negosyante yung mga requirements?
Yes, Angelique, meron. Actually, we have 1,300 plus negosyo centers all over the country where they can go to for the seminar, and then they can also go there to really get their business name registration and to inquire also ano mga programa ng DTI na para sa kanila. But for this time, we will really go all out media to really tell the people, because what I noticed before I came in, or even when I came in, hindi nila alam na may mga programang ganito. So kailangan natin ipaalam sa kanila. So we're gonna do a really aggressive approach on this one.
So sabi nga natin, talented ang Pinoy, no?
Yes, yeah.
Maraming idea, ideas. So far, so aside from the financing part, no, the financing problems that they encounter, ano pa po yung mga hirap sila na kailangan natin ituro sa kanila?
Okay, actually, I came out with the 5-point strategy for the MSME development, which I feel that they can use as their guide for them to advance. We must understand then that a lot of the big players now were MSMEs before.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say, a lot of them, makita mo, they started in the Kariton, ngayon mall na sila, ngayon department store na sila, then yung iba nag-start lang as an ice cream parlor, ngayon they're already a large chain of food.
Yeah.
Diba? So, madami talaga nag-umpisa. In fact, pag nag-umpisa ka sa MSME, parang yung chances mo talaga na basta magpursigi ka lang, your chance of really growing is really there. Ang daming kwento ng MSME na nakaka-inspire. So, I developed a 5-point strategy for the MSME. Number 1 is digitalization. We must go digital. Why? We're 7,600 islands, and to be able to get our message across, to sell and to communicate is best through digital. And yan din ang mura. Let's say I want to use a platform, an online platform to sell my product. All I need is myself, my phone, and my product. So after that, pwede na ako magbenta. We have one that was a star. In fact, nag-try ako nagpa-mentor dun sa isang platform then to teach them how. So she sold laing lang, and she was taught how to use that platform to sell laing, and they sell 300,000 a day.
Wow!
Yeah, so she was brought to Lao as an example of one of the many success stories of the digital platform. So
pero dapat masarap, no?
Yes,
Okay.
that's one. And
So
then
that's
number
one.
2 is to diversify. They must diversify.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett said, we cannot sell only one product. We must have a second source. Meaning, kasi pag natumba tong product na to, or something happens to this product, meron pa tayong pagkakakitaan. And di ba nauso yung double income family?
Yes.
Which is also a big help for the growth of a family or of any business. Kailangan mag-diversify sila. And then number 3 is, of course, financing, which I already discussed. Aside from the enterprise fund, we also have the business expansion fund.
Okay.
We also have the franchise funding. We also have the halal funding, those that need to certify their goods para they can be halal certified. And we also have now the creative industry fund. So yung mga, di ba, during the pandemic, madaming natamaan ng mga singers, dancers, or crew, let's say. So they can now loan from the SB Corp for this and qualify under the creative industry fund. So aside from the financing, it's the franchising. Franchising is something that I'm really pushing also, because these companies, through the Philippine Franchising Association, because they have the list of those that are bankable, the success rates are very high, and also when they get into that business, matutulungan na sila, matutulungan pa nila yung kumpanya ng franchising. So both of them are boom, and they can really grow this business because they just need to follow the manual or the direction given by the franchisor.
May template na.
May template na.
Yeah.
Like example, may malaking let's say French fries business that they can get into, and they can just grow that. So maganda yung business model na yon. And we also now had an MOA signing with OMV for the OFWs to get into franchising. Kasi di ba ang remittances nila $40 billion per year.
Yes.
So if they put that money into a negosyo na nothing happens, then they go back to where they came from, to why they left, di ba? So at least pagbalik nila, marami na silang negosyo na nakatayo, and they can pwedeng ipatakbo ng mga pamilya nila dito, and then pwede rin ipamana sa mga anak nila.
At pwede na silang umuwi dito.
Yes,
Ayan.
that's also the reason. And
Diba?
pwede na rin sila mag-franchise doon abroad, kasi
Yes.
we're also opening those businesses abroad. And the last is mentoring. We need to be mentored. Kailangan tayo ma-mentor ng mga success stories or yung mga basic lang ba, like basic accounting, how to use social media as a platform for selling, and so many others mentors that can really help us as we grow our business.
Okay, nako, there's so many things pa we would like to
Yes.
ask you. So interesting, tayo po yung magbabalik makalipas sa ilang paalala.
Thank you.
masusing na halalan, mahalaga ang kaalaman. Makiisa sa masusing talakayan ng mahalagang isyu at impormasyon na dapat pagtuunan ng pansin ng bawat botante. Kasama ang mga eksperto at kinatawan mula sa Commission on Elections, COMELEC, Usapang Halalan 2025. Magsisimula na ngayong March 1, dito lang sa inyong People's Television.
DTI Secretary Chris Roque. Okay, kanina gusto ko lang mag-remind, may nabanggit kayo about diversity, lalo na sa mga micro and small, medium enterprises.
Yes,
I recall, kunyari, merong isang sari-sari store, tapos katabi niya sari-sari store, tapos sari-sari store, halos isang hilera sila ng sari-sari store. So, paano yun? They're competing with each other on the same level, no? Ano pong mapapayo niyo dyan?
Yeah, actually, we have a Sari-sari store program that we're going to be launching soon, no? That includes financing and diversification. Sari-sari store is quite important here in the Philippines, no? Ang dami nila. So that's something that we really need to address aggressively. So the diversification is for them to sell other things and for them to get into other things. Let's say, kasi ang negosyo ng sari-sari store is pautang. Meaning, I go there, lista, then I only pay this much. Every payday, bayad ako. That's why they cannot go to the big stores because they want that pautang. So, ang pwede nilang gawin, we can also encourage them to do haircut, pautang din. Kasi the sari-sari store thrives in a community. So, let's say me,
of neighbors,
of neighbors.
They know each other.
Yan na yung target market nila. So, ano ba ang kailangan dun sa community na yon? So, they can get into that. Actually, in my private life, I tried that because I had a relative that had a sari-sari store. And what I did was, kasi nakita ko rin yung hirap na umiikot lang talaga doon yung buhay nila. So pag nadagdagan ng another family member, then it becomes a problem already. Kasi hindi na kayang sustentuhan another family member. So I tried to give her sewing machines actually to sew. And then they realized, parang, this is another opportunity na pwede kong i-take advantage. So, lumaki siya until wala na silang sari-sari store. And now, this production became really big already. So, that's something that we can share with them. Tahian na sila ngayon. And they sew for a lot of the local retailers, which is actually good because they provide more jobs now, which is also the main mandate of our president. Actually, ang gusto ni presidente, magkatrabaho ang mga tao. So, that's something that we're really looking at and really pushing also.
Yes. And
in
yung
the
also,
DTI, yes.
kapag may yung puhunan, hindi dapat na uubos. Kasi minsan may kinita and then hindi na ibabalik.
Yes, correct. Yeah, because nga yung puhunan nila is sustaining other people rin. So dapat marunong sila or mag-diversify sila. So that's something that we're really teaching. But we have a program that's coming out that's really naka-focus on the sari-sari store because this is a big industry and this could really level them up if they just follow or at least follow the business model.
Oo. At saka yung talagang para meron silang parang konting advantage sa isa't isa.
Yes,
merong ibang expertise itong sari-sari store A versus sari-sari store B.
Yes, pwede.
Diba? May mga ganon. Okay, ano po ang ginagawa pang strategies ng DTI para maging accessible at abot kaya po ang mga bilihin? Okay, I know that of course nandiyan din po ang Department of Agriculture with the agricultural products. Pero nandiyan din po ang DTI for let's say mga canned goods and iba pang mga binibili natin sa mga supermarket groceries and the like.
So for let's talk first about the one of the DA. For the DA, the DTI monitors and enforces the prices that are given to us by the DA or what are mandated by the DA since we have presence in the 18 regions of the Philippines. So that's something that we work together and it's a whole government approach. But for the basic necessities and prime commodities, that's really the focus of the DTI. We make sure that the prices are stable and the prices are low so that hindi mahirapan ang mga consumers natin. But of course, there are times when the raw materials goes up, and we also need to protect or take care of the manufacturers because they employ people. Because if anything happens to the manufacturers, mag-close down sila, mag-lay off din sila. So it's also a problem. But lately, last year there was no price increase. We were able to maintain all the old prices, and for this year we have very minimal price increase and only for a few products. No, in fact, we only have like 28% of the entire
inventory.
Yes, that have price increase, and the price increase is from 5% to 10%. Even if the manufacturers were asking us for a 20 to 30% increase, but since we spoke to them and really, addressed this issue, we were able to agree on a less than 5% and less than 10%. It didn't go higher than 10%.
Nako, talaga kasi baka hindi din kayanin ng mga tao. No?
Yes,
they will
correct.
also lose their share in the market if people cannot afford their products, right?
And actually, we've also offered them other avenues to sell, like these big manufacturers, like for them to export and for them to get in other markets. So I've gotten feedback also from, let's say, some manufacturers that they will not increase the price. So we will come up with another. Of course, we will inform the people that less na ng ang magpa-price increase. So that's something that we're really making sure of.
You're also watching out for the factors that make these prices go up.
Yes,
or why they want the prices to go up or to increase, diba, the selling price. Kasama dyan yung, of course, transportation, yung petroleum product increases, diba?
Yes,
But some people are saying katiting lang daw po yun dun sa total, like, let's say, computation of the price.
Of the price increase. Actually, the price increase really comes from the prices in the global market. Yeah, the raw materials.
It's the raw materials.
Yes, the raw materials that actually abroad, nag-increase na siya talaga. So we have no choice but to really, for those products, but most of the products na walang price increase, let's say some sardines, and then some yung talagang kinakain every day have no price increase. But those that are, let's say, a coffee, which we buy the raw materials from, abroad, overseas, dun may price increase. But now we've strengthened also now the coffee, our local coffee industry, which actually sobrang laki siya, and a lot of the people are getting into that industry now because of the potential also globally. So
the demand
globally. So that's really something that we're also pushing with the DA.
Siguro meron din kailangang konting mind shifting, no? Or shifting ng mindset natin mga Pilipino, na kung minsan pag merong foreign sounding name o may branding na international, kung minsan yun na nga mas gusto natin bilhin. When in fact, ang sasarap ng produkto natin.
Yes, diba? Ang coffee natin masarap, and it's really well accepted and well marketed already now abroad. But actually, I've been talking to a lot of the ministers abroad, and that's one of the products that they're really looking at sa atin.
Okay. Alright, meron po mga inilatag na programa o mga mekanismo para mapalakas pa yung monitoring din natin laban sa mga itong mga tiwaling traders or mga retailers din na talagang kuminsan namamanipulate na rin po nila yung presyo, no? Maybe they're keeping supplies in warehouses para maipit ang supply, aakit ang presyo. Ano ang role ng DTI dyan?
Okay, DTI has a department called the Consumer Protection and Fair Trade Group. That one really aggressively monitors and we really enforce there. So actually, nagdagdag na rin kami ng tao. We're really going digital because now there's so many products being brought into our country. Why? Because of our huge population, which is is actually what's very attractive for the international trade,
mahilig
for
gumastos.
investors. Yes. And then our online, which is also booming.
Yes.
Kasi dati wala namang online masyado, but now there's a lot of now transactions in the online platform. So that's something that we're really addressing also aggressively.
Yeah, you mentioned online. I was reading something na meron daw mga ibang mga physical stores na nagsasara na because parang they're adapting to ito nga po the selling of their goods digitally online. So ano ang nakita po ng DTI dyan? Is there really a glut in store spaces that have not been rented out? Mga ganun?
Actually, the store spaces, like let's say in the malls, are being converted now to restaurants, are being converted to things that cannot be sold online, services. Yun ang dumadami na sa malls, which is also good actually for the consumers because syempre for us, they really love to go to the malls. Or that's retail therapy or for R&R ba? They like to go. And online platform is now where they buy. So that's where we're also pushing the MSMEs to take advantage of the online platform for them to be able to sell their products because first, you don't need to renovate. That's one. Number two, small inventory is already enough. And then when they see the opening, pwede na ako magbenta sa mall. Then I'm ready for that. And at least kahit pa paano, they can start, small and then they grow from there.
Okay. Pero hindi po ba kayong plano na ibigay na incentives sa mga local farmers at suppliers? Although when we talk about farmers, it's really more Department of Agriculture.
Yes,
yeah. Para lang masiguro na abot kaya ang presyo, isama na natin ang bigas po dyan.
Yeah, actually, we're really working closely with manufacturers and also the retailers to make sure that we keep a balance or we keep the price down. Actually, meron naman talaga like let's say sa sardinas, there's really sardines that's really mababang presyo. But there's also sardines that, mataas ang presyo.
Premium.
So, yes, premium. So, it's up to the consumers already to choose which one they like. But there's really, may mga products na talagang meron na mababa yung presyo.
Okay. At pag-uusapan po natin sa ilang saglit ang mga upcoming and ongoing trade agreements po ng ating bansa sa iba pang mga bansa. Alamin natin yan sa pagbabalik ng In Person.
Congratulations to our 2025 Platinum Stallion National Media Awardees. Eats Fun, Citation for Lifestyle TV Program of the Year. PTV Sports, Citation for TV Sports Program of the Year. Public Eye, Citation for Documentary Program of the Year. Is Schoolmates, Youth-Oriented Program of the Year. And Rise and Shine Pilipinas, Best Morning News Program of the Year. Maraming salamat sa Trinity University of Asia. Ang inyong pagkilala ay aming inspirasyon upang patuloy na maghandog ng mga mahuhusay na programa para sa bawat Pilipino.
Balikan po natin ang ating panauhin mula po sa DTI Secretary Chris Roque. So, Secretary Chris, ano nga bang naging marching orders ng Pangulo sa inyo?
Actually, the three, as I told you, which is the international trade and investments, which he really wants to push for these big investments to come in. Because aside from the income that it gives our country, it also gives jobs on a large scale. So that a lot of our Filipinos can come home and be with family. That's one that we're really pushing. And then, of course, the consumer protection. We need to protect the Filipino consumers from the products that are being sold in the market market and also being brought in for sale, no, in our market. And number 3 is for the MSMEs to grow their business during his term.
Okay. In November last year,
Yes.
there was a APEC Economic Summit in Peru.
Yes,
and I
yeah.
recall that the president could not go, but he sent you in his place. What was that like?
Yes, actually, there was a lot of storms during that time, and the president decided to just stay in the country and really make sure that the Filipinos are well taken care of. So he sent me to Peru, and to be honest, I was so proud to be a Filipino. I mean, I was among world leaders, prime ministers, and presidents, and dun ko nakita that the president has really established, no, President BBM has really established our country as great again, I would say. So many of the leaders really wanted to meet with me to really show interest in trade in our country, and our reputation abroad is so good that actually even when I went to Davos, no, a lot of the ministers wanted to meet with me and ask me how can we establish the trade now between their country and our country. So maganda talaga ang reputation ng Philippines abroad, and also something na he's able to really convey a very diplomatic relationship between the APEC leaders and of course the Philippines.
So lumalabas na mataas po ang kanilang respeto.
Yes, malakas ang respeto nila.
Sa ating sa pamumuno ng ating
Yes,
Pangulo.
malaki ang respeto nila sa presidente. Yeah, maganda ang naging relationship niya, and the way he's able to really, represent our country is really very good.
Are the numbers showing it? Kasi ang masipag ang Pangulo, sabi nga natin, he's like the #1 salesman of the country, di ba?
Yes, yeah.
Sa pag-iikot niya in the first 2 years of his presidency. Ngayon kasi talagang nakatutok siya sa domestic matters.
Yes.
Pero are the numbers coming in pagdating sa investments?
Yes, actually last year, 2024, we have increased our international trade, no, by almost 30% or 30% from we are now last year 1.7 trillion. So that's really a big jump, and that's something that we are really hoping to achieve even higher this year because of the Create More that was signed last October, and the IRR was signed yesterday. So a lot of the big investors are really inaabangan nila yon. And a lot of the top 5 private equities are here in our country and acquiring businesses here. What does that show? That also shows that there's a lot of confidence of these big companies in our country.
Okay, so the president nga has been able to invite them,
Yes,
and they are
yeah.
coming in. Anong area sila pumapasok?
Okay, the really strong industries are the semiconductor, the renewable energy, the minerals. There's also a lot of let's say food products, like let's say there's one big one from Thailand that opened here and is expanding here. That's one. And then there's also the MERS, which expanded their logistics facility here. In fact, that was opened by the president, that was inaugurated by the president last year. 10 hectares siya ng logistics, 24 hours operation. That's the 3rd largest in the world. Number 1 meaning in the US, number 2 in China, and number 3 was in the Philippines. And then in this first quarter, we're also opening a huge fiber cement plant, which of course the main is in Thailand, and they're also opening here because of the boom also of our construction industry. So there's really a lot na nagbubukas dito. So we're one of the countries of choice, if not the top, one of the top 3 countries of choice
Yes, at
in
maganda
Asia.
rin dapat yung ugnayan po ng DTI at ng DOLE, because kailangan din may stability ang ating workforce,
Yes,
na walang
yeah.
mga volatility at mga, alam niyo na,
Yes, yeah.
how's your relationship, the professional relationship of DTI and DOLE?
Yes, of course, we have a very close relationship, not just with DOLE, but all the cabinet secretaries. We really do a whole government approach, and also with TESDA, because ang important rin is we need a skilled workforce. So yun rin ang hinahanap ng BPO industry, ng semicon industry, and all these industries na doon pumapasok yung foreign trade and investments.
Ang may tuturing nating sunrise industries. Kasi in maybe more than 15 years ago, BPO was the sunrise industry.
Yes, yeah. Now, I think renewable energy, of course, semicon is really growing. The cars industry is also something that we're really pushing also. And the minerals also, actually madami siya. The agri is also showing a lot of export abroad now. Coconut is very popular now. Before it was the dried mangoes, but now the coconut is also star now abroad. So
Because the coconut is not just a nut, di ba?
it's not, yeah. And the health benefits
Yes.
now globally, parang everybody's really recognizing the health benefits of coconut. So that's also something that we're pushing. And also since madami ng Filipinos abroad, no, that live abroad, and the food is also something that we are getting popular na. In fact, we already have a Michelin star restaurant, no, one in Chicago. So, and the Michelin people are here now to Cristina Frasco of DOT just acknowledge them. So that's something that we're looking forward to also. A lot of exciting things happening in our country.
Paano po kaya matitiyak yung tinatawag na one country, one voice campaign? Ayan, ano? Yung mga investment priorities po natin.
Actually, for the investment priorities, no, that's something that we're really pushing, and we've really established a department. No, aside from now, we have BOI, we have PEZA, we also have the Bulacan Economic Zone, we have the LEC. No, there's so many now na, and the BCDA. So we're really preparing now for all these foreign investors to come in para pwede silang pumili which area is suitable for business and which area is suitable for them na mas mag-grow nila yung negosyo nila. And for those that are existing already here, we really talk to them how they can grow their business or how they can grow their investments here in our country.
So hindi po nag-downsize o na-diminish yung investors natin sa mga PEZA, because there was a time na napag-usapan yung pagtanggal ng ilang mga in-enjoy nilang incentives and mga tax breaks. Ano na po yun?
That was before the Create More. But now with the Create More, the incentives are really quite good. Tax incentives ito. And not just for 10 years, they can go all the way to 27 years. So it's really long-term investment, long-term tax incentives. So that's something that's very attractive for these investors.
Merong think tank na nagsasabi na masyado daw pro-business ang ating pamahalaan, giving, let's say, itong mga big corporations more tax incentives when we should be giving it to the poor. Your comment, please.
Yes, actually, there's a lot of tax incentives also for the MSMEs. That's why, as I told you, we're gonna do a caravan talaga to really get them aware of what the government has for them. Because for some businesses that are less than 3 million, they don't even have to pay. There's certain tax incentives, no, that we need to inform them also. So this government is really pro-business for both the large and also the MSMEs, because they realize that these MSMEs, ang laki ng sector na to, so we need to focus on this. We need to really level them up and hopefully for them to grow from where they are to the next level during this administration.
So we want everybody to grow.
Yes, of course.
Para
Yeah,
mas
because
healthy.
because the growth of all sectors is also the growth of our country, and the growth of the MSMEs is a quick growth kasi they're already here. Kumbaga existing na sila. So that's something that we really need to
At saka hindi sila aalis.
Hindi sila aalis,
Nandito
and they can employ more.
Yes, oo.
Yeah, oo.
Versus yung mga tinatawag na hot money, ano po?
Yes,
Yan,
oo.
mabilis yun, in and out yun.
Yeah, we're really looking at yung permanent, something that's really long term and something that will also benefit our country in the near future and of course in the future.
Let's talk about exports naman. How are we doing in terms of export? Kasi ang exchange rate also has something to do with it, diba? Pag mataas masyado ang dolyar, ano nangyayari? Pag mataas ang piso, ano nangyayari?
Yeah, exports is quite strong also, and something that we're really pushing some more. No? Of course, we always want better, best. So we really try to push exports, not just of this large corporation, but now the MSME. So we really also, when I go abroad now, I really bring the large. I also make asikaso the large, but I also find avenues for the MSMEs, so no one gets left behind. I don't travel abroad. I don't do trade missions without the SMEs also in mind. So our meetings are always for both the big industries and also for the industries of the SMEs. So we've seen a lot of growth. Of course, not as big as the large scale, but kahit papano, they're really growing, like in the food industry. And then we're also pushing for halal, which has a global market of $4 trillion US. So that's something now we're encouraging both the large, of course, and the SMEs to get into halal.
Okay. All right, we'll talk a little bit more about e-commerce platforms. Ano rin po ang role ng DTI dyan, although you did mention it a little earlier. So, pero mas magda-dive in po tayo dito sa ating pagbabalik dito sa in-person.
Halina't makisaya sa makulay na Panagbenga Festival. Panoorin ang Grand Street Dance Parade ngayong Sabado, alas 11 na umaga. At saksihan ang live broadcast ng Grand Float Parade ngayong Linggo, alas 8 na umaga. Sama-sama tayo humanga sa ganda ng ating kultura at tradisyon. At kanhin ang diwa ng Baguio Flower Festival dito lang sa inyong PTV.
With the rise of e-commerce platforms, paano kaya natin nasisiguro na ang mga consumer ay hindi magiging biktima ng mga fraudulent sellers, yung mga counterfeit, peke, substandard products? Ayan, ating tanungin pa rin ang ating panauhin Secretary Chris Roque ng DTI. So, Sec, paano nga yun na ako, let me tell you, ilang beses na ako na biktima. 7-foot Christmas tree daw yung in-order ko. Dumating 7 inches. Syempre, nabayaran ko na.
Oo, then,
diba? What can we do?
okay, first and foremost, the consumers have to be vigilant. Kasi the consumers who really go to this e-commerce site are, of course, of age already to purchase, no? So, if in case they experience this, they must report it to the DTI. That's one. So,
Is there a
yes, they can
number?
report to sec@dti.gov.ph. That's directly to my office. Actually, when I sat down as secretary, that's the first thing that I did. So, lahat ng mga consumer or lahat ng mga let's say problems or that they encounter that they want to report and they want us to act immediately, they can do it to report to sec@dti.gov.ph. So that's one. And then number two, for the e-commerce, no, we're really policing it. In fact, I've already established an e-commerce bureau that will really make sure na yung e-commerce lang ang tututukan nila to monitor and to enforce. Kasi to be honest, ang daming produkto na pumapasok sa country natin and everyone is using, not everyone, but let's say most of the businessmen are using now the e-commerce platform as the platform of choice or as the avenue of choice to sell their products. So, kasi first it's cheaper, then it's easy to upload, it's easy to get started. Aside from the malls, no, they also have e-commerce. Meron yan always dual yan sila. And it's easy also for us to get it known from all the regions through the e-commerce platform. Kasi halos lahat ngayon may phone eh. So that's something that we're doing. And last week or 2 weeks ago, I've already set a meeting with a big e-commerce platform, and I told them that that they have to help us to aggressively police also these substandard products. I mean, let's say like your Christmas tree, pero meron din yung Christmas lights that can really cause death or can cause fire, that are really very dangerous. And also the firecrackers, let's say, and other products, let's say appliances also, that don't meet the standards of the DTI. So, kailangan sila maging vigilant din, and they need to report it to us. But on the DTI side, we've really established a bureau, and we've also really made sure na madami na sila, to make sure na ma-enforce ito. But of course, dumadami yung products na pumapasok because of the large market and the large potential here in our country. So,
May nakulong na ba ng mga fraudulent sellers?
yung mga sa amin, we just inform, of course, the different agencies that will handle these kinds of cases.
Yes. Oo. So it's really up to the police,
To
the NBI,
for us, we
other-
just monitor and we enforce, and then after that, we forward them to the department that really handles these cases.
Yes, and talagang people have to think before they click.
Yes,
talaga,
yeah. And
no?
if example na biktima na kayo, you really need to inform the different departments or involved, or at least for the DTI, so that we can act on it also. So dapat everyone should really help each other to make sure na we can catch these people.
And you can also course complaints din sa mga delivery riders,
Yes,
no?
yeah,
Yung mga
of course,
apps,
yes,
no?
meron. We've had complaints about this, and it's something that we also work with Grab and.
Okay, earlier you mentioned something about the Malikhain program. Ano ba talaga yan? Pang-creatives pa talaga
Yes,
to?
the Malikhain Pinoy program is really a program for the creative industry, regardless of whether you're from film, you're from, let's say the music industry, or let's say the painting industry, or let's say the fashion industry. So that's part of the Malikhain Pinoy. So for this year, we are also pushing, and we are also trying to get the people aware. What is this Malikhain Pinoy? Who are the people that are part of this Malikhain Pinoy? And some of them, if they want to go abroad, the DTI has what we call the Foreign Trade Service Corps, or the trade offices abroad, that can really do a B2B, or that really can find avenues for them to be able to, promote their products, or to be able for them to get jobs abroad. Like the film industry, I just spoke to them, and they were not aware that the DTI has this department in our agency that can really sell, or at least promote their films to the different countries abroad. We have 29 posts, and we have 21 posts and 29 foreign trade attachés that can really represent the Malikhain Pinoy, or this industry also. So let's say I have this film, let's say the big players, I have this film and I want to sell it to this particular country. We can match you with the trade attaché, and the trade attaché can also match you to the different companies there where you can really sell also, because there's also a demand now for our film, and since the Filipino market abroad is also quite large, it's something that we can really look at also.
So we're joining more festivals.
Yes, we can join more festivals, and we can also we encourage them that when they sell to the other country, or when they promote to other countries, they put the subtitles.
Yes.
Yeah, of the language that they have in that country, para it's easy for them to relate also.
Okay, ano pa po yung mga plataforma or actually mga reforma na pinapatupad po ng DTI para umangat pa yung ranking ng Pilipinas pagdating sa ease of doing business? Kasi in the past, I would remember na ang dami-dami nating mga prerequisites, requisites, mga requirements. tapos may traffic pa tayo, etc. So, where are we now in terms of doing ease in doing business?
Okay, for the ease of doing business, one, we have a whole government approach. So if anyone comes to the DTI and says they have problems, let's say with another department, secretary to secretary na nag-address nito. So we get things done. Actually, we've got a lot of success stories for that. No? The big corporation has written to us that the job has been done, and they're very very appreciative of this, and they will increase their investments. No? That's one. And then there's also the ARTA, which has a secretary, which is Secretary Nes Perez, who is really in charge of this anti-red tape. So that's something that he's also doing aggressively. So we work also with the ARTA.
So dumadali na po ang
Yes, of course it's still we still have these problems, but at least now it's really a whole government approach, and we really know that we need to get this done.
Okay, you've been an entrepreneur for many years. Ano ba, mga 30 years would you say?
Yeah, mga almost.
Yes, in the
30
clothing
years.
business. Ano ang nakita mong sikreto para sa isang matagumpay at matatag na negosyo?
To be honest, it's hard work, a lot of hard work. I mean, if we put our everything into something, there's really no way that it will not go up or at least level up. Yun lang talaga ang secret to success of any business. You must have the passion for it. You must be hardworking, and you must know more or less what you need, and you need to address it. And sometimes they say, kasi wala akong pera or ang konti. Sometimes having little is also an ace. Why? Kasi alam mo, ito na lang yung meron ako. I better make the best of this. I have nothing to, wala na ako eh. I don't have any fallback anymore. This is all I've got. So kailangan galingan ko na dito.
Were you ever
I must give my 1,000%.
Sorry. Were you ever pushed to the wall in the past?
Yeah, of course I started as a micro. So, I really know that when push comes to shove, you really must give your best. Kasi once you give 1,000%, wala kang regrets eh.
And how has this experience helped you in leading the DTI now?
I really have that attitude also that I must give my best. I mean, there may be some areas where it's not my strength, but I really try my best to at least learn it and to give my 1,000%. And loyalty is also one thing that,
Yung AI ba, nakakatulong yan?
Yes, AI nakakatulong. Like for the DTI, we use AI now to process, let's say, frequently asked questions. That's something that yung paulit-ulit ba, and redundant questions that need answers. So we use AI. We also use AI to be able to study some movements inside and some areas where we really need to address more. So we're using technology now. And we're really pushing this also for the businesses. Of course, for the large-scale enterprises, they really are moving to this. And there's a lot of BPOs na AI that's opening here because that's also the need globally. Yun ang talagang kailangan natin na because globally AI is actually in WEF Davos, they said 2025 is the spike of AI. So
should we worry that maybe some BPO companies might fold up precisely because of AI?
No, actually no. Maraming magbubukas as AI. They'll use AI to be able to drive the businesses that they cater to, let's say, overseas. Kasi dito we speak good English. They like the way they've already set up here, and then they like the incentives that we're giving them, and they've already established good relationship with the different departments of the government that they need to be able to push the business. So, yeah, BPO is gonna be growing here in the Philippines.
So, Secretary, ano pang pwedeng asahan ng taong bayan sa inyong pamumuno sa DTI?
Yes, for DTI, definitely we will get the programs to to the regions, from Region 1 all the way to Region 18. We'll do this aggressively through caravans and through different marketing platforms. No, aside from the digital platforms, we'll also use the media to get the programs out there. And to the people, please take advantage of what the DTI can offer you.
Yes.
Whether extra large scale business down to the MSMEs, we have a lot of programs, incentives, and a lot of offers, no, for the people, for the Filipino people. Please take advantage of it kasi it's really a chance for you to grow and to really find avenues for you to be able to expand and to get your business going, whether locally or globally.
Yes, Secretary, please address our audience who are listening now. Yung mga may agam-agam, pasukin ko ba to? Ano bang dapat kong gawin? Ano po yung pwede niyo ipayo sa kanila?
Actually, for all the businesses, as I said, no, please take advantage of the DTI. We've got a lot of programs and opportunities for all nagnenegosyo, from extra large scale all the way down to the MSME. So please take advantage. We're here to help you. We're here to really get things going for you. So that's one. And you shouldn't feel hesitant, or you shouldn't feel anxious if you feel that you really have a product. Just go for it. Definitely, you'll go places as long as you put your heart and soul into that that business, or into the thing that you want to do. Make sure that you give your best, give your 1,000%, and I'm sure you'll get to reach the success that you really want to achieve.
Very well said from a successful entrepreneur herself.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Secretary.
Thank you.
For your
Thank you
time
so much.
tonight.
Thank you.
Isinusulong ng Department of Trade and Industry sa ilalim ng pamumuno ni Secretary Maria Cristina Aldeguer-Roque ang paglago at pag-unlad ng kalakalan at industriya sa ating bansa. Makakagawa ng mga bagong pagkakakitaan o hanap buhay, at kasabay nito ang adhikain na mapataas ang kita ng bawat Pilipino. At yan po ang tunay na mukha sa likod ng mga balita at isyong pinag-uusapan, matapang na humarap at nagpakilala. Ako po si Angelique Lazo at ito ang In Person. Thank you so much, Secretary.